Sushil and Supriya's marriage wasn't born from a love story. It was arranged by their families. Yet, destiny had its own quiet way of weaving their hearts together. When they were first introduced, neither expected much. But as weeks passed, their phone calls grew longer, their conversations warmer. Sometimes they talked about serious things, career plans, family values, the kind of life they dreamed of. Other times it was silly, childhood pranks, favorite foods, random jokes that made no sense but left them laughing until midnight. They slowly discovered each other's worlds. Supriya loved the smell of wet soil after rain. Sushil loved her laughter when she spoke about it. He preferred quiet evenings. She liked the chaos of family gatherings. She adored mangoes. He was allergic but bought them for her anyway. Within those months of knowing each other, they had unknowingly built a friendship that went deeper than either had expected. As the wedding day approached, both felt a strange mix of excitement and nervousness. The house was filled with relatives, music, and rituals. Supriya looked stunning in her bridal attire, nervous yet radiant. Sushil, too, felt his heart skip a beat seeing her walk toward him during the ceremony. It was the day they had been waiting for, yet everything felt surreal. After the grand celebration, laughter and countless photographs, the crowd finally thinned. Guests began to leave. The noise of drums faded, leaving behind a gentle calm. The newlyweds were finally left to themselves. That evening, Sushil's elder brother had lovingly decorated their room. Rose petals covered the bed, soft candles flickered by the window. The fragrance of Mogra and Nishigandha filled the air, sweet, soothing, and slightly dizzying. A faint breeze entered through the curtains, making the moment feel even more magical. But for Sushil, it wasn't just excitement, it was nerves. He hadn't eaten properly at dinner. His heart was pounding, and his mind was full of thoughts. He wanted everything to be perfect, yet he didn't know what perfect meant. His friends teased him endlessly. "Don't go too soon," one joked. Another laughed, "Remember to smile, not faint." Sushil smiled awkwardly, pretending to enjoy it, but inside he was restless. He wanted to go. He wanted to see Supriya, to talk to her, to begin this new chapter. Finally, his brother rescued him. "Enough jokes," he said quietly. "Let the groom meet his bride now." Everyone laughed, and Sushil, blushing slightly, made his way to the decorated room. He opened the door gently. The room glowed with soft light, and the air was heavy with floral perfume. Supriya was sitting on the bed, her phone in hand, scrolling absent-mindedly. As soon as she saw him, she put it aside and smiled shyly. For a few seconds, they both stood there, unsure of what to say. The noise of the wedding still echoed faintly in their heads, but the silence between them now was louder than anything. Sushil broke the silence first. "Can I sit here?" he asked softly, pointing to the edge of the bed. Supriya nodded with a faint laugh. "You don't have to ask, you know." That little sentence made them both laugh, easing the tension a bit. They began to talk, slowly at first, then more comfortably. About the wedding, about how exhausting the day had been, about the relatives who had danced too much or eaten too little. Bit by bit, they started to feel at ease again, like the two friends who had talked endlessly before marriage. When Supriya looked into his eyes, she could see the same nervous excitement she felt. Her voice softened. "You seem different tonight, quieter." Sushil smiled, "Maybe because I don't know how to act like a husband yet." She laughed, a soft sound that made his heart race. They talked for hours that night, about small things, big dreams, their plans for the future. They didn't rush anything. It wasn't about doing what others expected. It was about understanding each other. The glow of the night bulb painted the room in shades of gold and red. At one point, Supriya yawned and leaned back against the pillows. "You must be tired," Sushil said gently. "A little," she admitted, "but it's been such a long, beautiful day." They sat quietly after that, listening to the faint hum of the ceiling fan and the distant sound of crickets outside. Sushil looked at her as she slowly drifted off to sleep, her hand resting on his. He didn't move. He just watched her, realizing how peaceful she looked. That night wasn't the grand, romantic moment he had imagined. It was something softer, something real. It was the beginning of understanding, of patience, of respect. Over the following months, their bond deepened. They supported each other through every little challenge, whether it was adjusting to new family routines, managing work pressure, or handling expectations. They laughed, argued, learned, and grew, side by side. Whenever Supriya felt low, Sushil knew exactly how to cheer her up. When he came home tired, she made sure his favorite tea was waiting. Slowly, their arranged marriage became a true partnership, one built on love and mutual respect. Years later, when people asked them about their story, Supriya would smile and say, "It was arranged by our families, but love arranged everything else." And Sushil would nod, knowing that behind those simple words was a lifetime of shared laughter, quiet understanding, and endless care. Narrator's note: sometimes love doesn't begin with fireworks. Sometimes it begins with two people willing to listen, to understand, and to stay. And that kind of love, gentle, patient, and real, is the one that lasts forever. If you liked this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heart-touching love stories.